good, fam? It's Mr. Kelly with Good to the Hood, talking about anything and everything that impacts the culture. And it's a little bit late tonight, but I was going through some of my CDs, and yes, I'm old school enough to where I still have CDs. And I was thinking about hip hop and how it's grown since I was a kid. And there should really be a category for adult contemporary hip hop. Um, but really, what would that be, right? And the reason why I say that is, okay, so when I was growing up, it's just rap, hip hop, whatever, whatever. And of course, everybody knows about the Sugar Hill Gang and all that in the 70s and that kind of thing. But hip hop didn't really start taking off, like really taking off to like the 80s. In like the 80s, it was just crazy. And then you started having, they started trying to break it out into subgenres, right? So then you had your gangster rap, right? With like, your NWA, Eazy-E, DOC, DJ Quick, all of that kind of thing there, right? And your conscience rap, which a lot of times, let me see, conscious rap back then, BDP, Redhead and Kingpin, KRS-One, Tribe, Poor Righteous Teachers, that kind of thing, right? And then it got really kind of divided into East Coast, West Coast. Of course, everybody knows hip hop originated in the East, right? East Coast. So, not taking nothing away from them. And then you started having rappers really come from the South, right? Most notably when Andre 3000 with Three Stacks, they were getting like an award. I think it was a Source Award. And basically he was saying like everybody's sleeping on the South, that kind of thing. Okay, well now we hear da 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 da. And in the South has been a juggernaut since, specifically Atlanta. But then of course, Texas, Florida, all of that. And so it's kind of branched off into different subgenres of music, right? And then it started really changing now because now you got like mumble rappers. And then they started mixing a little bit with, and then there was artists that mix it in with rock, kind of like, or real more aggressive, like kind of like your Tech Nine, Cess Crew, those kind of people. And so now it's just really, really broad now. Now there's like a whole bunch of just like crazy, oh man, I'm going to do an episode on culture vultures. Because it's almost like there's culture vulture music, right? There's like, you got your Post Malone, you got your Lil Pump, you got your Tekashi 6ix9ine, you got like hip hop is just really broad now, and it's really absorbed a lot of sounds and musical styles or whatever from other genres of music, right? I mean, remember when Nelly was doing stuff with Tim McGraw and all that? But a lot of hip hop fans like myself that are in their 40s and 50s, it's almost like they really should be adult contemporary hip hop. I first heard that term by Charlemagne the God, for any of you guys that watch The Breakfast Club. And he used to always kind of say that, and I was like, that's. But now as I get older, I'm like, man, maybe. And what really brought that to mind is, okay, so I was organizing some of my music. You can kind of see over here, I got like this. These are all CDs in here that I got to organize and blah 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 blah. And let you know how old school I am when I turn it this way. This is all cassettes, people. Like, this is all cassettes. I still got cassettes. So that's what I'm saying. Like, back in the day, older cats like myself that are closer to 50 than 40, well, we listen to a lot of hip hop, but it's totally different. You always hear old school versus new school and that kind of thing. So what really makes adult contemporary hip hop, right? Because it's not really a real genre, not that I've really seen, but they really should be a category for that. Like, I think, so what I was saying is what really brought me to thinking about that is Nas just dropped a new CD, an album, okay, because I downloaded it on my phone. I'm not still buying CDs. I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but I haven't in probably 3 years. King's Disease, right? And so I was listening to that joint, and it's real nice, right? Like, I was like, okay, Nas. But some of the topics that he's talking about throughout the whole album, it's like grown folk, right? It's like real grown folk business. Like, we're talking about our health, we're talking about our diet, talking about making better financial decisions, making decisions to keep us out of trouble, keep the younger generation out of trouble. So we really sound like some old heads right now, but I really vibe with it. And of course, it has like some R&B choruses and hooks and that kind of thing. So. And that's a new album, but the sound sonically, it's not like a lot of the stuff that's being dropped now, right? And then another one that just dropped too was Lecrae, has a album called Restoration, and it's the same type of thing. So it's not. I mean, it's still hip hop, but it's just not as aggressive as, say, some of these some of these younger guys. It's not Future. It's not. Oh boy, who just dropped? Who's another cat that just dropped? Look, now I'm on stump. But anyways, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? But older hip hop, for instance, even like when you go back, I was listening to Tupac, and some of his music was like, it would be like adult contemporary. Now, of course, it's older music, but back then it wasn't really considered that. So when we like, really, what's adult contemporary? Is it just the content? Is it the way that it sonically sounds? You know what I mean? But there's definitely, look, there's hip hop music out there that's 20, 30 years old. Easy now, right? Like I was 15 years old listening to cats. You had, let me see, you had Big Daddy Kane, Father MC. That's got to be adult contemporary. I mean, even back then, that could have been contemporary hip hop. Now it's adult contemporary hip hop, I would say. De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, B.I.G. definitely had some music that falls into that category. You could just call it classic hip hop, I guess, right? But I don't know. Tell me what you think. Adult contemporary hip hop, really, what is it? Should there really be a category? What other artists would be in that? But definitely, Will Smith, would he be, or would he just be like goody two shoe? Goody two shoe hip hop. I don't know, but hip hop is very broad. But adult contemporary hip hop should really be a category. Man, I'm working on a podcast, and I might really start trying to push that, because I feel like that should really be a subgenre for the culture altogether. But if you've heard of that before, or if there's radio stations in your local market that call it that, or kind of go in that direction, let me know. Because is Eazy-E now going to start being on that channel? So it can't be just age, because there's stuff that he's saying, Two Live Crew, there's stuff that they're saying, Too Short, stuff that they're saying that you can't put on just regular radio. Hip hop is what hip hop is. It's still music for the streets, but older cats, we listening to a little bit of different something, I guess. So hey, let me know what you think on that. But yeah, adult contemporary hip hop, it's got a nice ring to it. It's real. We've arrived. We've been around for a few decades now. So till next time, this is Mr. Kelly with Good to the Hood. Peace.